Hi, I'm Simon from Astro and welcome to the 30th edition of our Night Sky Guide video. This month's edition marks the 1 year anniversary of our Night Sky Guide. Can you believe it's been one full orbit around the sun since we started doing these videos? And I must admit it's been a little bit tough trying to get these videos ready for you guys every month, but we've had fun making them and we hope that you've all enjoyed them too. So here's to another great year of enjoying the night sky. So as you can see, we're on a boat and we're actually in the middle of the North Sea, and we've just witnessed an incredible sunset off towards the south at the rear of the ship. And also you might be able to notice the moon as well just above and left of me as well. The waxing crescent moon is looking really nice at the moment too. So we're actually heading to Norway as part of the onboard astronomy team on the Fred Olsen In Search of the Northern Lights cruise this Christmas. We're hoping to see some great aurora displays on the cruise, and we hope that you guys get to see some great displays too throughout the rest of the new year. January is the best time to view all the winter constellations, including the asterism known as the winter circle or the winter hexagon. January's full moon, the wolf moon, will also be what is known as a supermoon and will appear larger and brighter than usual too. We have the quadrantid meteor shower to look forward to, and Jupiter will be appearing at its best, reaching opposition on the 10th of this month. So there's lots to look forward to throughout this January. And so without further ado, let's dive in.
Sunrise and sunset times throughout January will be as follows. On the 1st, the sun will rise at 8:25 am and set at 4 pm. On the 11th, the sun will rise at 8:20 am and set at 4:14 pm. On the 21st, the sun will rise at 8:10 am and set at 4:31 pm. And on the 31st, the sun will rise at 7:56 am and set at 4:50 pm. Moon phases now. The moon reached first quarter on the 27th of December and will start the month of January as a waxing gibbous. Full moon will be on the 3rd, last quarter will be on the 10th, new moon will be on the 18th, and first quarter will be on the 26th. As usual, the moon will be paying some close visits to other celestial objects this month, and these meetings will be discussed in more detail in our highlights section. For all the aurora chasers, January hosts some of the longest and darkest nights of the year, and so darkness-wise, conditions are at their best for the northern lights. And if you would like to be kept in the loop with regular updates and alerts for possible auroral displays, please follow our Facebook page. For Milky Way fanatics, the winter Milky Way is now easily visible in our skies, and for those accomplished photographers, there is also the chance to capture a west-facing Milky Way arch featuring all the winter constellations in the early morning. Onto general nighttime sights now. Looking towards the north throughout January, Perseus the warrior, Camelopardalis the giraffe, and the faint constellation of Lynx are high in the sky near the zenith in the middle of the night. The zodiacal constellation of Leo the lion, along with the inconspicuous constellations of Leo Minor, Canis Venatici, and Coma Berenices, can be seen rising in the east. Draco reaches its lowest in the sky above the northern horizon, and Cygnus the Swan, along with the Great Square of Pegasus, can be seen setting in the west. Looking south, all of the famous winter constellations, including Auriga, Taurus, Orion, and Gemini, along with the lesser-known winter constellations of Canis Minor, Monoceros, Canis Major, and Lepus, are now at their easiest to spot, riding high directly towards the south. The brightest stars of these constellations create the famous asterism known as the winter circle or winter hexagon. It's a beautiful part of the winter skies that contains many interesting bright and colourful stars and some amazing deep sky objects. To the east, the zodiacal constellation of Cancer, with the water snake Hydra, can be seen rising higher in the sky, and towards the west, the fishes of Pisces and the sea monster Cetus can be seen dipping below the horizon, with the zodiacal constellation of Aries following close by. General bright planet viewing now. Mercury will unfortunately not be visible this month as it will be too close to the Sun, reaching superior conjunction on the 21st. Mercury starts the month in Sagittarius and ends January in Capricornus. Venus will also reach superior conjunction on the 6th of January, and so will be too close to the Sun to observe at the start of the month. However, the end of the month offers a chance to catch a very brief glimpse of the super bright planet towards the southwest just after sunset. Just like Mercury, Venus starts the month in Sagittarius and ends January in Capricornus. Just like in December, the red planet Mars remains too close to the Sun to be observable throughout January. However, after the red planet reaches solar conjunction on the 9th of January, Mars will begin to slowly move away from the Sun and will become visible again in a few months' time. Just like Mercury and Venus, Mars starts January in Sagittarius and ends the month in Capricornus. January will be the best time of year to observe the bright planet Jupiter, as the amazing gas giant will reach opposition on the 10th. At this moment in time, Jupiter will appear larger and brighter than at any other time of the year. Jupiter remains in Gemini throughout January. Saturn remains fairly well placed for early night observers at the start of the month. However, as the month progresses, Saturn will appear closer and closer to the horizon as darkness falls, and so the start of January will be the best time to observe the amazing ring planet Saturn. Saturn starts the month in the boundaries of Aquarius before moving into Pisces on the 15th. Okay, let's begin looking at our highlights for the month of January. There's a great selection of celestial events this month, and kicking off the month will be the moon visiting the bright star Elnath. In the early morning of the 2nd of January, the pretty much full 97% illuminated waxing gibbous moon will appear close by to the bright star Elnath of the constellations Auriga and Taurus. Look west at around 3 AM to see the pair at their closest. The third day of the new year hosts January's full moon, which is known to some as the Wolf Moon. Furthermore, due to the moon being near its closest distance to the Earth, January's full moon will also be what is known as a supermoon and will appear slightly larger and brighter than usual. The night of the 2nd into the morning of the 3rd will be when the moon will appear at its fullest. However, don't worry if you don't get to see the moon on the morning of the 3rd, the moon will still appear full on adjacent nights too. On the night of the 3rd, January's full super wolf moon will appear close by to the amazing planet Jupiter and the bright star Pollux of the constellation Gemini. The trio will be close together all night, but will appear at their closest at around 1 AM on the morning of the 4th, creating a straight line formation. The evening of the 3rd will also host the peak of the quadrantid meteor shower. The quadrantid meteor shower is one of the most prolific and reliable of the annual meteor showers. The shower is active between the 27th of December and the 12th of January, and on an average year, under perfect conditions, the shower can produce an amazing 120 meteors per hour. Unfortunately, the full moon will be causing a lot of natural light pollution, meaning only the brightest of the quadrantid meteors will be visible. However, the radiant for the quadrantids is well placed for Northern Hemisphere observers, and with the high rate of meteors, it may still be worth heading out for a couple of hours to see if you can catch any shooting stars. In the early morning of the 5th, the 96% illuminated waning gibbous moon will appear close by to the Beehive cluster. This will be a tough pairing to observe, with the moon being so bright, and will only be observable by those with binoculars or a telescope. On the evening of the 6th, the 84% illuminated waning gibbous moon will appear close by to Regulus, the brightest star of the constellation of Leo. Look to the eastern horizon at around 8 PM to watch the pair rising above the horizon together. On the morning of the 10th, the amazing gas giant Jupiter will reach a point in relation to the Sun and Earth known as opposition. At this moment in time, Jupiter will be near its closest distance to Earth and will appear brighter and larger than usual. This makes it an excellent time to observe Jupiter. In the early morning of the 11th, the 45% illuminated last quarter moon will appear close by to Spica, the brightest star of the constellation of Virgo. Look to the southeast at around 1:30 AM to observe the pair rising above the horizon. In the early morning of the 14th, the thin 18% illuminated waning crescent moon will appear close by to the bright star Fang of the constellation Scorpius. Look to the southeast at around 5:30 AM to watch the pair rise above the horizon. On the 18th of January, the moon will reach its new phase, leaving the skies free from natural light pollution. This means the nights on and around the 18th will be ideal for viewing faint objects in the night sky and or taking photographs of the night sky. On the night of the 19th, the amazing gas giant Jupiter will appear close by to the star Wasat of Gemini. Now, how would I explain where to find Jupiter at this moment in time? I guess you could say Jupiter will appear right next to. On the evening of the 23rd, the 24% illuminated waxing crescent moon will appear close by to the amazing ring planet Saturn. Look towards the southwest from darkness to observe this pairing. On the night of the 27th, the moon will travel in front of several of the stars of the Pleiades open star cluster, which is also known as the Seven Sisters. As the moon travels in front of the Pleiades, it will block some of its stars from view during an event known as an occultation. Look towards the southwest at around 8:30 p.m. to observe this occultation. A pair of binoculars or a telescope will be necessary too. And our final highlight for the month of January 26 will take place on the night of the 30th into the morning of the 31st, when the pretty much full 95% illuminated waxing gibbous moon will appear close by to the bright planet Jupiter. The moon and Jupiter will appear close to each other all throughout the night of the 30th, but will appear at their closest in the early morning hours of the 31st.
So as you can see, there's plenty to look forward to throughout the month of January. If you liked this video and found it useful, please make sure to press the like button and subscribe to our YouTube channel, and feel free to follow us on our socials on Facebook and Instagram too. So we've just arrived at Narvik now. You can see the moon has made an appearance. We're about to get ported up and we're going to go on land and do some exploring. We hope that you all had a great Christmas, and we wish you good luck and clear skies for the rest of the new year.